following video, we're going to be taking a look at the facts. Specifically, we're going to be talking about Succession, and this major spoiler warning. If you haven't seen season 4, episode 3, click out this video because there's going to be major spoiler alerts talked about through the entire video. And basically what we're going to be taking a look at is how good are the different GPT models at knowing up-to-date information and retrieving correct facts from something that hasn't happened yet, right? According to when these models were trained. And then we're going to be discussing different ways to overcome that. And then we're going to be leveraging the latest knowledge to create something pretty cool. So stick around. And if you want to see the text companion, there may or may not be one in the description for this if I can figure out how to export from the browsing module. And if that is the case, it will be in the description. So have a good one. Okay, so today we are going to be taking a look at Succession, the HBO show, and we're going to have a conversation with GPT about it, a chat with GPT as we do on this series. Heads up, this is a very obvious spoiler alert for the most recent events on the show. We will be diving into what happened in the most recent episode at the time of this filming, season 4, episode 3. So if you don't want a super massive spoiler, I'd recommend not watching this one. But okay, with that out of the way, let's get into it. So what I wanted to kind of show with this video is that, how does GPT get new data, right? GPT has been trained to a certain date. I think it's 2021 in GPT-4. So it doesn't really have up-to-date knowledge past that. But a lot of people have been thinking about different ways to solve this problem. And one of the prevalent current ways to solve this problem is by using browsing. And we're going to show you the difference between non-browsing versus browsing, both using GPT 3.5 Turbo. One's going to be in the ChatGPT UI where browsing is, and the other isn't. And we're going to ask the exact same question, and we're going to see what the output is that we get out from the models. So let's say, what is the current state of Logan Roy in Succession? So again, if you've seen the latest episode, again, spoiler alert, but I assume that everybody who wanted to be spoiled has left by now, and only the true watchers are still here. Logan Roy is dead, right? He died in the latest episode, but GPT shouldn't know this. As you can see in the system commands, I put it here. I know everything about the HBO show Succession, so let's see what it does with a very low temperature. We can even lower the penalties a bit too. And then with GPT 3.5, we'll try it again with GPT-4, and then we'll do it with the browsing plugin. Okay, so it says looks like we're in season 2. So it says, at the end of season 2, Logan Roy is still the CEO of Waystar Royco, but he has faced significant challenges. He suffered a health scare and has been forced to confront his mortality, which has led him to consider succession planning and grooming his children to take over. However, he remains fiercely competitive and determined to remain his power and influence, even if it means sacrificing his own family members. So as we know, this is season 2, right? It stopped at season 2, which was filmed. Let me check when it was filmed. So we can see here that season 3 was aired from October 17th to December 12th, 2021. And season 2 was August 11th to October 3rd or October 13th, 2019. So it would make sense that this model, which was trained at the early stop data from early 2021, wouldn't have season 3 in it. But now let's try GPT-4 and see what we get. So we're actually just going to delete this text, and then we're going to start over and ask again with GPT-4. So we're going to go to GPT-4, and then this there's a known error with ChatGPT MD using the cache of the file. So sometimes you need to change the file to allow it to change the model, but now it should be okay. So unable to provide real-time update. So this is September 21. So okay, let's see if it knows what happens in season 3. What happens to Logan Roy in season 3? Okay, so Succession had not been released in September. I think it did say October. Okay, October 2021. Let me check that one more time because I want to see what date that the season 3 aired. Oh wow, that's pretty crazy. Hold on, let me switch back to Chrome. So we can see here that it says that the season premiere is set for October 17, 2021. So as according to GPT-4, it's stuck as it were in September 2021. But when we flip over to Chrome, we can see that October 17th indeed was the airing date, right? So what has this proven? We've proven that, I think a lot of times people would stop there and they'd be like, oh, well, GPT doesn't have actual data. But what GPT is a large language model that can go and look for things. as we can see in this quote here, or this completion, that it knows that it's updated in September 2021. It knows that that's the last time it has data. So when I asked what is the current state of Logan Roy, it wouldn't know the current state because September 2021 is past, and GPT-4 does know the current date. As a matter of fact, it just doesn't have access to any data from September 2021 onwards, right? So, a lot of people will be like, okay, well, this leads to hallucinations and inaccurate data. And I agree with them to the extent that it does return inaccurate things very confidently sometimes, depending on what you ask and depending on how confident the machine learning model is through RLHF and through its initial training in its conclusions. But I want to actually give this a chance to show off the browsing module, which will go and fetch the latest data, and then the model can do some pretty cool stuff. So let's take a look at that. So now we are in the GPT chat browsing version. So we're going to copy the exact same thing that I asked Obsidian chat GPT to do, and we're going to see what it comes up with. Okay, so let's give this a try. What is the current state of Logan Roy in succession? Again, this was recorded the Tuesday, 2 days after season 4, episode 3, where Logan died on the plane. So now ChatGPT is thinking. It's browsing the web, so we can see the current state of Logan Roy in succession. So it searched for the current state of Logan Roy in succession. It's reading the content on the webpage that it found. He has died. He passed away on a flight to meet the Gojo CEO, Lucas Matson, which is true, right? So I wanted to make this point because, again, I think that when it comes to hallucinations, a lot of people's ideas are limited, that the whole model is bunk because it can't retrieve correct data. But as we see with the exact same question that we asked GPT-4 and GPT 3.5 and the browsing model, we got completely different answers, right? All over the place. So what is the current state of Logan Roy in succession is that, we know that he has passed away. So, because this wouldn't be a Bram Adams video if there was no app ideas, let's say, write an app idea that Logan Roy would want in his obituary, because he did pass away, right? Roy Legacy. Okay, so let's let it go and then I'll read what it came up with. Oh wow, it's really going in. Okay, so let's look at the app idea that it came up with. Roy Legacy. Roy Legacy is a memorial app that immortalizes the great leaders like Logan Roy. The app allows us to explore Logan Roy's life journey, his achievements, his impact throughout interactive content, multimedia presentation, and immersive experiences. By honoring his contributions to the media industry and Waystar, Roy Legacy serves as an everlasting digital tribute to a man who left the incredible mark on the world. Explore Logan Roy's life and career milestones through a timeline, a gallery, a memorial, virtual memorial. You can see the family tree. So let's say, I think that this will be pretty cool. So graph the Roy family tree in Mermaid JS, right, with up-to-date information about their status, married, single, alive, dead, etc. So it's probably going to search the web again, right, to get all of the info that we can get about the Succession Roy family tree. I don't think that there's going to be anything. Oh, well, here we go. It clicked on this link here, the Succession family tree, a guide to the Roy dynasty. It's reading it right now. This is pretty cool. It's like a live, I feel like a sports commentator, like a sports coach watching, not a coach. A sports commentator watching NFL players make plays, and then I'm just commenting on it. Okay, so here we go. So let's let it finish making this mermaid, and then I will take that back into Obsidian. Oh, look at that. So it even has, so according to this website, which here's an interesting thing that's going to happen with the browsing module, is that a lot of websites that it pulls from won't have up-to-date data, right? Like when the Succession family tree was written, let me click it so we can see here that it includes Marsha, for example, right? So Marsha Roy hasn't been in this season, and I don't think she was in last season either. And it says that she's the third and current wife, which obviously isn't the case anymore, right? So if we go back to ChatGPT, it has the exact same data. It basically read it, parsed it, and turned it into JSON. So for anyone in the comments who's wondering why it still says Marsha Roy is Logan's third wife, keep in mind that if, according to this website, Marsha Roy is very much in fact the website. But here's interesting: the Roy patriarch in this website says that he's alive, right? It says that he was that he's currently dealing with the cruises division in the Me Too scandal. But from up here, we know that he passed away on this flight, right? So we can actually take this code here, copy it, and then move back into Obsidian, and then we're just gonna paste it, and then we're gonna see what happens. Mermaid JS, paste it. That should render. No, I messed up. Let's try getting rid of this, maybe. Okay, so I actually gave up on Obsidian, and I'm using this Mermaid Live editor, but we can see that we got this error, parse on line 2. So we're gonna take this into ChatGPT and just paste it and see what happens. Okay, so this looks the same to me. I don't know what it changed. changed. Okay, let's copy it and see what happens though. So we're gonna go back to the online flowchart editor. Running into the same error. Let me see if I can get rid of this. It's the parentheses again, I think. Okay, what if I escape the parentheses? Okay, so now I'm actually gonna copy over the whole error that I got, and then we're gonna see if we can do that. Okay, so now it's attaching these break lines here. Okay, let's try this again. So what I'm trying now, I'm probably just gonna edit this because I ran into a few more errors than I would have liked, is that I retold it instead of using mermaid.js just to use mermaid, and now it looks different. We're getting this graph instead of before I told it to represent it as a mermaid flowchart. So let's go back in here and just paste it, and then still getting an error, and I don't know why. Okay, so I figured it out. The problem was that, and I'm going to probably edit most of this out anyway, so by the time you see this, you're going to be like, what did I figure out? When I asked ChatGPT to create the mermaid flowchart, I kept getting this very long error from mermaid.js, this PS error, but then it turns out that I wasn't allowed to use parentheses. Like when I deleted this by hand, it worked, or moved the error down. So I was like, okay, no parentheses. And then I also got rid of this shiv, and it worked. It came up with Logan Roy, Marsha Roy, Caroline Collingwood with Kendall Roman and Shiv as their oh wow, it even has what they're doing. So Kendall Roy is estranged from Logan, Roman Roy is seeking approval, Shiv is on the brink of divorce, Rava is Kendall's estranged wife, and Tom Wamsgan's betrayed Shiv and is still Shiv's husband, again according to this article that I got the information from. Greg Hirsch from Ewan's grandson, who's Logan's brother. So this actually went pretty well. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I think that there was some pretty good lessons here about the browsing module, and then kind of like keeping up with the current quote unquote state of the world with the internet by using the same model to retrieve facts. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.